The bridge of the Arcturus Dawn hummed with tension as Captain David stared at the manifest on his datapad. 3 crew members down with Krellian fever, 2 more requesting transfer after the incident at Proxima Station, and now this, a replacement chef who couldn't even speak Galactic Standard properly. "Sir, the new hire is here," his first officer announced, mandibles clicking nervously. The door hissed open and a small figure stepped through. She was human, David noted with mild surprise. Humans were still relatively new to the Galactic Council, their homeworld having joined only 15 cycles ago. This one stood barely 5 feet tall, with dark hair pulled back in a practical bun and eyes that refused to meet his directly. "Name?" David asked, not looking up from his datapad. "Elsa Morrison, sir," she said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Louder, on a ship this size I need to hear you." She cleared her throat. "Elsa Morrison, chef 3rd class." David finally looked at her properly. She carried a single duffel bag and wore the standard gray uniform of civilian contractors. Her hands were calloused, he noticed, the hands of someone who actually worked. "Your credentials say you worked on the Valkyrie's Promise for 2 years. Why'd you leave?" "Contract ended, sir." "And before that?" "Earth, various restaurants." David waited for her to elaborate. She didn't. The silence stretched between them like the void outside the hull. "You realize this is a deep space hauler, right? We're talking 6-month runs minimum. Crew of 47, representing 12 different species, each with specific dietary requirements, some of which are toxic to others. Think you can handle that?" "Yes, sir." The last chef quit because the Vraxian contingent threatened to eat him after he accidentally served them something with sodium chloride. You know what sodium chloride does to Vraxians? Makes their organs crystallize, sir, fatal within hours. Right. David studied her for a moment longer. Something about her stillness intrigued him. Most new hires were either overly eager or visibly terrified. She was neither. "You don't talk much, do you?" Elsa met his eyes for the first time. "No, sir, but I can cook." David shrugged. "Works for me. Report to the galley. First meal service is at 1800 hours. Don't poison anyone." 3 days later, David found himself in the galley during the night cycle. Insomnia was an old companion on deep space runs. He expected the room to be dark, maybe grab a ration pack and head back to his quarters. Instead, he found Elsa. She stood at the main prep station, hands moving with practiced efficiency as she diced something that looked like Andorian kelp. The blade in her hand was her own. He recognized it immediately. Not a standard-issue molecular cutter, but an old-fashioned chef's knife from Earth, the steel worn smooth from years of use. "Can't sleep?" David asked. She didn't jump, didn't even look up. "Preparing tomorrow's fermentation, sir. The mycelians need a 12-hour culture time." He moved closer, watching her work. The precision was remarkable, each cut exactly the same size, executed in a rhythm that spoke of thousands of hours of practice. "You know, when I saw your file, I thought Command was playing a joke on me. Human chef on a multi-species vessel. Humans barely know their own cuisine, let alone the dietary needs of species from across the galaxy." "Most humans, yes, sir." She finally paused, setting down her knife. "But I studied." "Studied?" For the first time since boarding, something like emotion flickered across Elsa's face. "My grandmother was a xenobiologist. She collected recipes the way some people collect art. Every species she met, she learned what they ate, why they ate it, what it meant to them." She resumed cutting. "When I was young, I thought cooking was just fuel. Nutrients in, energy out. But she taught me different. Food is memory. It's home. It's the thing you miss most when you're far away." David pulled up a stool. "Is that why you're out here, following her footsteps?" "She died when I was 16, sir. Left me her collection, 2,000 recipes from 97 different species." Elsa's hands never stopped moving. "Took me 10 years to master even half of them." And the other half? Working on it. The blade flashed in the dim galley light, and David found himself mesmerized by the simple act. There was something almost meditative about it. "You know what the crew's been saying?" he asked. "No, sir." "They say you're the best chef they've ever had. The Vraxians actually complimented their meal yesterday. Do you know how rare that is? Vraxians don't compliment. It's not in their cultural framework." Elsa allowed herself the smallest smile. "I made them krillax stew, recipe from Vraxia Prime. Most ships just give them synthesized protein paste." "You made it from scratch." "Memory tastes different than synthesis, sir." David leaned back, studying her with new appreciation. In 3 days, this quiet human had accomplished what his previous 3 chefs couldn't manage in months. She'd brought the crew together. He'd noticed it at dinner, different species sitting at the same tables, actually conversing instead of retreating to their separate corners. "Why don't you talk much, Elsa?" he asked suddenly. She was quiet for a long moment, her hands finally going still. "Talking is easy, sir. Anyone can make promises with words. But cooking tells the truth. Either it's good or it isn't. Either it nourishes or it doesn't. No room for deception in a well-made meal." David stood, moving toward the door, then paused. "My grandmother used to say something similar. She was a welder, said a good weld either held or it didn't. Words were cheap, but craftsmanship, that was honest." "Wise woman, sir." "Yeah, she was." He turned back. "Keep doing what you're doing, Morrison. This crew needs what you're giving them." "Yes, sir." As the door hissed shut behind him, David heard the rhythmic sound of her knife resume, steady as a heartbeat, cutting through the silence of space with something more powerful than words could ever be. In the vastness of the cosmos, where thousands of species struggled to understand each other across the gulfs of language and culture, one human with a knife and a grandmother's legacy was building bridges, one meal at a time. And that, David thought as he headed back to his quarters, was perhaps the most human thing of all, finding connection not through grand gestures or eloquent speeches, but through the simple, honest act of feeding those who were hungry and far from home. The end.